Hi, I'm Tracie Goodman, and I'm the Agriculture, Natural Resource, and 4-H agent with McCreary County Extension. And today we are going to talk about tree identification using my favorite method to identify trees, and it is called a dichotomous key. Now, dichotomous keys are a list of questions that help you narrow down the tree species that you are looking at. So there are over 120 tree species in Kentucky alone. And identifying them just from a list of pictures and details would be really hard without the use of a dichotomous key, which gives you the process of elimination and helps you to more quickly identify whatever tree it is that you're looking at. And right now is actually the best time to identify trees is when the leaves are on. So identifying trees by leaves is much easier than trying to identify them by bark alone, which can be done, but it takes a lot more practice to do that. And deciduous trees, like most of the ones that we're looking at today, lose their leaves in the fall. So when you head into winter, you don't really have those leaves on to help you ID them. Now today, I'm using a publication from UK College of Agriculture, Food and Environment, and it is some of the most common trees in Kentucky. Now, at the end, I'm going to show you several books that you can check out at our very own McCreary County Public Library, which is who we are partnering with today for this program. And they have tons of resources there. Anything that you want to know about trees, they've got it. So go see those ladies and check out a book to learn a little bit more about what we're talking about today. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Now, this is the first one that we're going to take a look at. There is the tree right there, and it is right by my house. Now, when you are using a dichotomous key, this is the one that is a UK publication. It's really easy to use. It has a few on here, and these are common trees of Kentucky. Now, your dichotomous key always starts at number 1. And it says always read both lines per number to determine which category the tree or plant fits. So usually on every dichotomous key, the first question is, does the tree have needles or does the tree have leaves? So let's step over here and take a look at our tree. Now this tree certainly has needles and not leaves. If they were leaves, they'd look something like that. This may be the next tree that we come to. So this one, we can definitively say that this tree has needles. So if our tree has needles, we're gonna move down. See, it says number 2. We're going to move down to number 2. Now the next question is, are the needles in groups of 2, 1 to 3 inches long and twisted, or are the needles in groups of 5, 5 to 8 inches long? So let's look at our needles here. Now what it means by group is each little bundle here. So we are going to count the needles in our little bundle here. So this has, I don't know if you can see that, there are 5 needles in this bundle, right? So these needles are in bundles or groups of 5, and they're pretty long. So you follow that little dotted line, and it shows that this tree is a white pine tree. So we've identified our very first tree. Okay, so we will do this tree next since we already came over here. And it's kind of 2 growing together, but it is the same tree. And luckily I have a branch down here on the bottom because it'd be kind of hard to do this if I only had those upper branches. So our first question was, does the tree have needles or does the tree have leaves? Now we can definitely say this tree has leaves, right? They're not long and thin like those needles on the pine tree were. So this tree has leaves. So we will follow this question down to number 3. Now it says, are the leaves simple or are the leaves compound? And this key happens to explain, how do I know if the leaves are simple or if they're compound? So the secret is to look at the buds. The buds for next year's growth will appear at the base of the leaf stem. Leaflets do not have buds at their base and are therefore part of a compound leaf. So it shows you an illustration there of a compound or a simple leaf. Now let's take a look at our buds here. Alright, so see those little things? Those are the buds at the base of your leaf stem. Now, since this has one leaf coming off, there aren't multiple leaves connected to this one bud, we will say that this is a simple leaf structure. So, now that we know that the leaves are simple, we follow the dotted line out, and it says to go to number 4. So the next question is, are the leaves opposite or are the leaves alternate? And again, there is an explanation of this in an illustration on the back page. So what is leaf arrangement that illustrates opposite versus alternate? The leaf arrangement refers to the branching pattern of the trees. Leaves and branches grow from the stem either exactly opposite from one another or are staggered, which is called alternate. So let's take a look at our leaves again. And we will go back to the same one. Now you see how these are right across from each other? If they were alternate, there would be maybe one here, one here, one here. But these are right across from each other. So we can definitely say that this leaf structure is opposite. So for number 4, the answer is the leaves are opposite. So we're going to follow that dotted line out, and it says to go down to number 5. Okay, so number 5, our next question. Are the leaves unlobed with smooth margins, or are the leaves lobed? And again, we're going to look at our back page. So down here it explains what are leaf margins. Leaf margins refer to the edge of the leaf. A leaf margin can be smooth or have teeth. It can also be lobed or unlobed. Any combination of these characters can happen also. So, down here kind of shows you a little bit of an illustration. A lobed toothed leaf, which has these little serrated edges right there. A lobed smooth leaf, which does not have any leaf serration. An unlobed toothed leaf, which is jagged on the edges. And an unlobed smooth leaf, which is completely smooth all the way around, no lobes at all. So again, let's take a look at our leaf here. So your lobes are interruptions in that pattern of the leaf. So if it was a single lobe, it wouldn't have any of these edges coming off of it. This part is one lobe. So this one we can look at and tell that it has 3 different lobes on it, right? So for number 5, we can say that our leaves are lobed. And the dotted line directs us to go to question number 6. So we go on down to number 6. It says, are the leaf margins serrated or toothed? Or are the leaf margins not serrated? So let's look at our leaf again. Now, serrated means jagged edges. And this leaf definitely has jagged edges, right? It's not completely smooth. It's serrated on the edges. So we can definitely say that this is not a smooth leaf. This is a toothed or serrated edge. So for number 6, we can say that the leaf margins are serrated or toothed. And we follow our dotted line out, and we find out that this tree is a red maple tree. So there's our second one. Okay, for this one's hanging over the back of my porch, so we get to look at a little bit bigger of a tree today. And the branches go all the way up there. So let's walk on over here to where our leaves start. Remember our first question again. Does the tree have needles or does the tree have leaves? We know that this tree has leaves. So we are going to go on down to question 3. Question 3, are the leaves simple or are they compound? So we know that simple leaves have a bud at the base of one single leaf. Compound leaves have a bud at the base of a leaf that leads to several leaflets. So let's look at our leaves here. Now again, you see that little bud there? This leads off to one single leaf here, right? So then we know that our leaves are simple. And we're going to go on down to question 4. Now it says, are the leaves opposite or are they alternate? So let's take a look here. Now you see how these leaves, there's one here, there's one here, there's one here. They are clearly growing in an alternate pattern. They're not straight across from each other, right? So, our leaves in this tree are alternate. We're going to go down to number 7. Now, it says, are the leaves lobed or are they not lobed? So remember, lobed leaves do not have one single edge, like a rounded or oblong edge. They're kind of curvy on the ends. Now looking at our leaf again, we can see that it's clearly lobed. There are several lobes coming off of this leaf structure. It's not smooth on the edges all the way around. So now we know that our leaf is lobed. We're going to go down to number 8. Number 8. Is the leaf oblong in shape or is it a tulip shape? So looking at our leaf, that definitely is not shaped like a tulip, right? It is a long, oblong kind of shape. So the leaf is oblong. We're going to go down to number 9. Now, number 9, does it have bristle tips or no bristle tips? Now, a bristle tip would be pointy on the ends, right? So you think the tips of this, they would be pointy instead of rounded like they are. So this leaf definitely does not have pointy tips. It has a really round lobe on them. So now we know that it does not have bristle tips, and it leads us to this. This tree is a white oak. And there you go. White oak tree.